Alright, the King Jack Atlas has returned with the first cards of Blazing Dominion with a new form of Red Dragon Archfiend, which I'm definitely excited for, but a little disappointed that we didn't get a certain type of card. But anyway, let's begin. So we start off with a retrain of Dark Resonator, that being Darkness Resonator. It's a level 3 Dark Fiend tuner with 1300 attack and 300 defense, with each effect being hard once per turn. The first one being that you can reveal one Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck, and it has to be precisely Red Dragon Archfiend. Special summon this card from your hand, but if you're going to do extra deck plays for the rest of the turn, it must be Synchros, which is technically fine considering that it's a Synchro based deck, and also it has Red Dragon Archfiend in text, which is also important. But this first effect definitely also triggers the second effect, because the second effect is that this card's special summon, you can activate this effect. During the main phase of this turn, you can perform one additional normal summon with a Resonator, and of course you can only get one of these effects per turn, which is definitely helpful considering of the fact that some of the Resonators do only activate in normal summon, in which the third effect is that you can target as many tuner monsters you control to change your level to 1. This actually helps with the multi-tuning with the deck, especially sometimes you will need 2 level 1s just for your Tyrant, for example, or in some cases you're going to level up by 1 with the hot Red Dragon Archfiend lineup. So overall, a good new Resonator that literally just sets you up. And now to a retrain of Vice Dragon, Power Vice Dragon, which is a level 5 Dark Dragon with 2000 attack, 2400 defense, and the first 2 effects are both hard ones per turn. The first one being if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are Dark Synchros, you can special summon this card from your hand. Of course, to make things easier for your level 8 Synchro plays. In this case now you also have a level 7, in which once again first effect also triggers the second effect where when this card special summon, you can add one Resonator from your deck to your hand, but for the rest of the turn, extra deck plays are restricted to Dark Synchros. This card is just so good that it special summons itself that literally also searches after that, and then after that just makes a Synchro play with it. What's not to love? Especially with third effect, it makes it searchable with Red Dragon Archfiend cards, because third effect is that a Red Dragon Archfiend monster that uses this card as material cannot be destroyed by battle. More so use it for the first 2 effects, but the third one is a nice extra bonus, especially with the idea of Jack Atlas protecting his soul no matter what. And now to a new Peace Golem, and will be the only Peace Golem, which I was surprised. Demon Peace Golem, or Fiend Peace Golem if they do not want to use Demon. It's a level 5 Dark Fiend with 2100 attack, 0 defense, and each effect is hard once per turn. The first one is that if you control a Fiend Tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand, in which the second effect can be triggered by the first one, where if this card special summon, you can decrease its level by 2. Being a level 5 tuner is already fine enough, but having that option to manipulate its level is also pretty helpful, especially if you do want to do for your lower synchro plays, like Red Rising Dragon. And then to the third effect, where if this card is sent to the graveyard synchro material for a Red Dragon Archfiend or a monster that mentions it, you can target one level 4 or lower fiend monster from the graveyard and special summon it. And because of this last effect, it is now searchable through Red Dragon Archfiend means. But once again, it's another card that can special summon and just further sets you up. And now to a new form I was not expecting of Scar Red Nova Dragon / Buster, or Red Nova Dragon Assault Mode. Yes, while we do not get a majestic form of this, we got an evolution assault mode instead, while Yusei doesn't. So at least they gave Jack Atlas something with Red Nova Dragon evolving even further. But anyway, it's a level 12 Dark Dragon with 4000 attack, 3500 defense, and it cannot be normal summon or set and must first be special summoned through assault mode activate, with its first effect being when your opponent activates a card effect, quick effect, you can banish this card into the end phase. Banish cards your opponent controls up to the number of tuners in your graveyard. So once again, this doesn't negate, so just keep that in mind, but it is nice that you literally could nuke your opponent's board with this, in a similar fashion of Red Supernova Dragon, with just a little more restrictions. With the second effect where when your opponent declares an attack, you can banish this card into the end phase, negate the attack, and then end the battle phase, which I would say is a pretty powerful effect considering that you literally end the battle phase rather than just negate one attack. So in a way, it does kind of have the banish effect of both the original along with Supernova. Unfortunately, you can only pick one or the other. But the third effect is typical assault mode monsters, where when destroyed, you special summon back its original form, that being the Red Nova Dragon. So while it does have pretty powerful effects, I kinda do not like that it loses its protection, because the original Red Nova Dragon has the card effect protection and this new version doesn't, and also loses the power gain from the tuners from the graveyard. I really do like the banish effects, because those banish effects could be pretty disruptive to your opponent and annoying. And I also like that Jack Atlas did not just straight up copy Yusei and just made a majestic form of this, instead he did an assault mode form. And while I would say I wouldn't really run this card, luckily a new monster actually makes you kinda want to run this, so there is some incentive for it, especially with all the assault mode support we've been getting recently. And now to the new cover card Red Dragon Archfiend, the Crimson King, which was not a type of name I was expecting, but it works. But anyway, it's a level 8 Dark Dragon Secret with 3000 attack, 2500 defense, requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner dark monsters, with each effect being a hard once per turn. The first one being if this card synchro summon, you can add a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand, which is not a type of I was expecting for a cover card. But anyway, to the second effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish this card to special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck and it's treated as a synchro summon. And if you do, double its current attack. And also it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. So once again, we get another prelude form when it comes to Red Dragon Archfiend, the first one being the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. And this was not a type of effect or cover card I was expecting. Especially for a name Crimson King, I was expecting it to be a max level Red Dragon Archfiend. Instead, we got a more setup card that will power up your Red Dragon Archfiend with even stronger effects. And it's also kind of unfortunate that it's also not treated as original Red Dragon Archfiend, but luckily it's still a Dark Dragon Synchro which can work with majority of your cards, but there's still a lot of Red Dragon Archfiend themed cards, so there are a few unfortunate things about it. But overall, for a big cover card that is also a level 8 boss monster, it's just mainly a setup card that will superpower your Red Dragon Archfiend. And now to a new monster I was literally not expecting at all. Crimson Blade Dragon, which its design definitely looks like a fusion between the Exploder Dragonwing and Crimson Blader, which are Jack Atlas alternate ace monsters. But anyway, it's a level 7 Dark Dragon Synchro with 2400 attack, 2600 defense, and this monster is also treated as Crimson Blader, which is actually very huge because if you play Assault Mode Activate on it, that means that you could summon the Assault Mode Crimson Blader even though this is not the original form. And the first effect is a hard once per turn, where if this card synchro summon, you can either add to hand or special summon 1 level 8 or higher monster from your deck or graveyard that cannot be normal summon or set, but its effects are negated. Essentially, you could literally cheat out your Assault Mode monsters. Of course with effects negated, but literally you could summon out a big beater out of this, like the new Red Nova Dragon Assault mode, which actually could still activate its effect considering that the banish is the cost, and there's also the additional part where when they're destroyed, you can still summon the base form version back. So yeah, this card can already be pretty insane to cheat out some of the bigger boss monsters. Even if their effects are negated, you've got the one big one that has 4000 attack that can still activate its effect. And into the second effect, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster that's level 5 or higher, destroy that monster. Keep in mind this is not even once per turn. So yeah, being anti-high level monsters practically, that also has the ability to cheat out your big ones. This is actually a pretty good support, especially since Red Dragon Archfiend does not have that many level 7s. And now we go to the only spell, Crimson Hell Call, unless they take out Hell in the name. It's a normal spell and you can only activate one of these per turn. The first effect is that add 1 level 4 or lower fiend monster from your graveyard to your hand, but if you control Red Dragon Archfiend or synchro monster that mentions it, you can add from deck instead. Or if your Assault Mode or Red Dragon Archfiend monster attacks, at the end of the damage step you can banish this card and then that monster can make a second attack in a row. So overall it's a good recycle card or a searcher depending on scenario, and also turns your Red Dragon Archfiend into a bigger beater or even assault modes. A definite must play for the deck considering that the deck can sometimes lack consistency searchers or recyclers. And finally to our last card, which is a trap, the Ruler's Rumbling, which is a normal trap and you can only activate one of these per turn, and if your opponent special summons at least 10 monsters during the turn, neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this activation. So the effect is activate these effects applying in sequence based on the amount of opponent's special summon monsters during the turn. So at least 1 special summon 1 Dark Synchro from your graveyard or banishment, at least 3 Red Dragon Archfiends that you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects into the end of the next turn, at least 5 Change all monsters that your opponent currently controls to face down defense. So it's a trap card that gets a bunch of effects, depends on how many monsters your opponent summons, so you kind of have to time this right. While it could be nice here and there, especially on the part where flipping your opponent's monsters face down, unless if you're going up against Lynx, I can say this trap is worth running at least most one of, but I wouldn't really risk my opponent summoning a bunch of monsters just to play this card. But it does have some nice counters against your opponent in a way. So that's it for the new Red Dragon Archfiend cards, with the first cards as Blazing Domination as the cover card as well. What do you guys think of it? I'm just happy that we finally got some more Jack Atlas support, especially with a new form of Red Nova Dragon that I was not expecting, and in a way different from Yusei. Also a bit happy that we also got more main deck monsters for Jack Atlas that are not Resonators because they're just mostly tuners. But the new cover card of Red Dragon Archfiend being the Crimson King was not what I was expecting for a cover card. In fact, the name would make me expect it to be a max level Red Dragon Archfiend, but instead it's just like a base form with a regular setup that goes even further for Red Dragon Archfiend. But overall pretty cool support, especially that Crimson Blader Dragon, and that pre-hint of Assault Mode support that now goes to this set. So overall pretty awesome. But other than that, that's it for this, and see you next time.